Put your gams down. Ugh.
Sorry, I didn't mean to hit you that hard.
My boob. Do... I'm trying... Wait, okay. Yeah.
Hello.
So stupid.
Jinx, you owe me a Coke. I got one right here.
Hello, welcome back to our channel. This is Shelf Possessed. I am David.
And I'm Craig.
And today we are doing our 300 subscribers Q&A. Pew, 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 pew.
We made it. Looks like you made it. First of all, before we start this, we just want to say thank you for helping us get here. I know for some, 300 may not seem like a lot, but when we started this, the fact that we've continued to grow and continue to gain new subscribers has been really great. So we're just really grateful that everyone has stuck around and is still here and is still invested in kind of what we have to say about books and about our lives. So we're eternally grateful to you for helping us get to this milestone, and we're excited just to answer these questions and help you get to know us a little bit. So, yeah. These are all questions that you submitted either via comments, Instagram, email, however, text message, however you submitted the questions to us.
Carrier pigeon.
Carrier pigeon, yes. Snail mail, if that's what you're into, you know. So we're just we wrote them all down and we put them in a little jar in this little fancy little black pumpkin. I know it's winter now, but, you know, we're still holding on to fall. And we're just going to pull them out one at a time, and we're going to answer them both and just see where it takes us.
Okay.
You ready?
Let's start. Okay. So our first question is provided by author Chelsea G. Summers.
Thank you, Chelsea.
She asks, what is the thought process behind choosing the surprise TBRs for one another? Go ahead.
For me, it's a little bit twofold. It's like trying to find a book that we think the other person is going to enjoy, but also then wanting them to read something that, you know, one of us has read that we've really enjoyed or that we really like, that we want them to, you know, read as well, so we can have a conversation about it. Just finding something that we think the other person is going to connect to in some way. For me, I think in some ways we've tried to not sabotage the other person, but like expand their horizons, you know? Mm-hmm. Yeah, in some way.
Yeah, and I think it's sometimes we'll give each other a heads up, like before we do it, like this is not going to be a good month for me, or I'm going to be really, really busy doing this other thing. So maybe, you know, nothing over such and such page.
Right.
So anything over 300 pages probably is going to be a little challenging for me this month. So we kind of gauge it by that point too. Yeah. But usually we've been together for quite a while, so we kind of know what each other kind of likes, at least reading wise.
I think too that the other thing about the surprise TBRs that's important is that because I want to be very clear that we're not influencing each other in beforehand about the picking of them. Like I don't go to David and be like, you must pick a romance novel for me this time. Like we don't really have any kind of real say in that. It really is a surprise for a reason, and so. I just think that if we're having a certain feeling or if we're feeling a certain type of way a certain month, I think it's just important that we're communicating that, you know, to each other so that we're being conscientious of what the other person is going through. And
sometimes I just tell them, hey, I'm really, really happy this month.
Yeah.
Or I'm really, really dark.
Yeah.
So.
And I don't think our surprise books have never really fallen like in line with the theme of what we're reading that month, if there is a theme.
I think there was the Halloween one.
Yeah, that was the only one, but we decided that beforehand.
Yeah,
you know,
that was a shit show.
Not going to talk about October this month. So yeah.
Okay.
Next question.
Next question.
Thank you, Chelsea, for that question. By the way, we appreciate it. All right. Next question is. How long have you been married?
72 years.
always makes me feel great, when your answer to that question is longer than either one of us has been alive. So, our 5th year wedding anniversary is coming up this month in December. So we will have been married 5 years on December 23rd.
The day before Christmas Eve.
Yes. We had quite a whirlwind experience that week because we had my birthday, and then while we were planning our wedding, and then got married on the 23rd in the afternoon, which was a Friday. Mm-hmm. Christmas Eve was the next day, and we had my entire family and some of your family at our house that Christmas Eve, and then we had Christmas the next day. So it was quite a week that week.
A lot.
Yeah,
it's a lot.
5 years that has somehow turned into 72.
But together for 6. I mean,
yes.
that was really really fast. We met January 2016. Mm-hmm. I proposed May, and then we got married
in December.
That December.
Yeah, literally a whirlwind romance.
We don't like to fuck around. It's
We were also both like
very quickly
in our mid-30s at that point, and like had done the dating thing, and like we're kind of exhausted by the people that we were meeting, and then when we happened to meet each other, it was just kind of like a revelation. So that was kind of nice.
Yeah. Okay, well, this is a good one. Favorite holiday traditions.
It is December, so we do have those.
I think kind of piggybacking off of our anniversary this year. What we like to do on our anniversary, we like to go and look at lights around town. So that's the one we always continue to do.
Yeah. On our anniversary, we stop and we get hot chocolate, and we drive around town and look at Christmas lights and listen to Christmas music. And it's always been a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. Usually we'll watch a Christmas movie when we get home. Mm-hmm. We also make a big deal of decorating for Christmas. Really getting our house Christmas cheered. We do the same thing for Halloween though too. We really spook up the house. Where did you grow up? We live in the Midwest, and I grew up in the Midwest. I grew up in the middle of the country, in between 2 larger towns. One town that I lived in as an adult or as a young adult, and then one town that I lived in now. So I am within probably a 30-mile vicinity of where I actually grew up. I haven't really left much except for when I went to grad school. So, but we had very different formative growing up experiences.
I'll say.
Yeah. And where did you grow up?
I grew up in the city, so where you kind of had almost like a rural kind of upbringing. Mm-hmm. I was a very big city boy.
Country mouse, city mouse. Yeah. It's funny because our growing up experiences have really influenced a lot of how we are together too, because I will leave windows open and leave the blinds open and not lock the door sometimes, and City Mouse over here will be close all the curtains. People cannot see into our house.
Deadbolt.
Yes, everything's locked. So you can tell just based on that alone that we had very different growing up experiences.
But I think what's funny is that we've kind of always kind of been connected in some way. I remember going off to college, and then I knew his childhood best friend in college and didn't even think about anything until we kind of met, and then we kind of found that connection together. It's oh wow, we've always kind of been in each other's orbit in some kind of way.
We also both were living in Illinois around the same time. Granted, he was in Chicago and I was in Western Illinois going to grad school. So we were still, we were weirdly in each other's orbit there too, which is kind of strange and weirdly connected to each other.
Is BookTube a stress reliever from teaching for you both? That's a double-edged sword.
It is a double-edged sword, yes. Yes and no, for sure.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think it's a little different for me than it is for you, because I edit all the videos and do all of that, so I have that added level of stress on top of creating the videos. But that doesn't really stress me out a lot. I enjoy doing that, so it's a nice way to kind of flex my creative muscles a little bit, which I like. And yes, it is a stress reliever because we get to talk about something that we love with people that we enjoy. So like that helps a lot. But I also know that like, and you'll know this because you've watched our videos, especially once school started, like our video count started to drop a little bit because we just didn't have time to film as much as we would, in the summertime when we're not doing as much. So we need to get better at that. And I think, we can. It's just just a learning curve still. But I still love doing it. I love creating it. So
I think I'm back and forth with it because I think I like engaging with other readers and the subscribers. But I also am a huge procrastinator as well. And when, it's almost the end of the month now and I haven't finished my TBR, so I'm just very, that kind of worries me too. So it's kind of twofold there. So, but I have fun doing it.
I did think that like the having a accountability thing with our TBRs would be helpful, but it's kind of become more of a stressor than anything else. Like filming the videos and editing the videos isn't really that stressful, but it's like trying to get the set list of books finished in a certain amount of time has become a little bit more stressful than, normal. So, but we love it here. We love creating videos for you, and we're not going to go anywhere anytime soon. So, yeah. But also, this channel has allowed us to like reach out to authors and talk to authors and like, connect with them too, which has been really, really nice to get to talk to people that we, look up to, and to be able to like engage with all of you in the comments has been great. So it's perfect.
It's almost like my dream job.
Yeah, if only it was a job.
To read and then to talk to authors about their work and talk to other like groups about their work, and I don't know. It's I love it, and then it's also stressful as well.
Yes. Yeah.
So,
living or dead, what 3 people would you have lunch with? My number one choice would be Tori Amos, my favorite singer-songwriter of all time. While I have met her, I think it would be fun to have an actual lunch with her. I also think I would invite Taylor Swift to that lunch because I think the two of them together would be very interesting because they have very different sides of the same coin. And I would be curious what their conversation would look like. And my third person is a little bit sentimental because I would invite my Nana, who died when I was 16, because I didn't get a chance to say goodbye to her and like to have any resolution in that relationship. So I would probably it would be a tough lunch because I'd want to do that, but then also talk to these two people who I really admire and respect. So yeah.
See, I was going to go more towards that route because I was going to choose my mother and your mother.
Oh.
But I also think that may not be good because I wouldn't be able to talk.
No, you wouldn't get a word in edgewise.
With either of them there, because I think my mom passed away before we got married, so she never got to meet Craig. So, but I know that my mom and his mom would have just been like that, and they would have been in cahoots with each other. So,
and my mom died right after COVID started. And so we've talked multiple times about those two watching over us, and they're probably arguing together somewhere right now.
Favorite treats or snacks for a night in, which is
every night
for us.
Yeah.
I always go to gummy bears because that's my favorite treat in the whole world. Some popcorn of some kind, some trail mix, but like I would say trail mix, but I'm more focused on like the chocolate, like the M&Ms in there, and not really so much like the nuts, but most of like the carb heavy stuff in it. What about you?
Well, it's always chips and salsa. Like I could just like power through like 8 bags of chips and salsa and be happy and be fine. I also think that, any kind of cheese and cracker situation and dip situation I'm in for. What do you love the most about the other one?
I'm very erratic sometimes, and I get really nervous and have a lot of anxiety sometimes, which probably I shouldn't have. But I think you kind of keep me, centered in that way. When I'm kind of going off the rails, you're like, you're okay, you're fine, blah, blah, blah. Calm down. So you kind of keep me centered.
So my calming influence is the thing that my centering abilities.
I think you're a good kind of mirror to hold up and say, hey, everything's going to be okay. You're worrying too much, or you're thinking too much about this when really you should be thinking about this. So I think that's what I appreciate the most.
Well, the question was, what do you love the most, not what do you appreciate the most. But okay, it's fine. No, I'm just kidding.
But I love that the most about you too.
Okay. I think mine is just your sense of humor and your the way you make me laugh over and over and over and over again. Like, it doesn't matter how old the joke is or how many times we've told it or how many times we've heard it before. Like, when he does his Ludo impression from Labyrinth, I'm like on the floor rolling. So I love how much you make me laugh and how much fun it is just to be with you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think people would think we were weird.
Yes. If there were cameras in our house watching us on a daily basis, people would be like, either those two people are the most boring people on the planet, or they're on something, which I assure you we are not. So,
is there a song that reminds you of the other one? I think because I'm not really so much a music lover. I think my music choice kind of stops at like 1999. But I think that when we were first dating, you would send me like playlists all the time that you would make. So like Taylor Swift's Blank Space is one that I was like, that really, I understand that song so much, and it just seems like I was like, oh yeah, because I've had really shitty relationships in the past, and now here's a new one coming up. And so I think about
shitty relationship.
No. Here's a new relationship coming up. But yeah, so because I've had a lot of, I don't want to say a lot, but
it was a lot. It's fine. You can say that. That's true.
But and I think I don't think I've ever stopped believing in love during that time. I think it's kind of maybe suppressed it in a way, but I think when I hear that song, I think about you because you kind of helped me overcome that. What about for you?
Well, you stole one of mine.
Blank Space?
Blank Space was mine for you. Because of you've told me multiple times that is like the song for you that reminds you of our like early dating. But yeah, the other one for me with you, besides Blank Space, is Running Up That Hill by Kate Bush. Yeah. I was trying to get into Tori Amos, and we were talking about Tori a lot, and then that led to a discussion about Kate Bush, and then we watched a couple like Kate Bush documentaries, and then you were listening to Kate Bush nonstop, and then Running Up That Hill has just become an inside joke.
That album, that cover.
Yeah, that whole the Hounds of Love album is great. So, thoughts about your BookTube experience so far?
I think it's been good.
Yeah.
We've gotten a lot of nice people who kind of reach out and talk to us. I think that's what I kind of like. I mean, doing the videos is great, but I think kind of connecting with people that are watching the videos and enjoying the videos, I think was something that I was not expecting to like so much. And I enjoy talking to people anyway. So that's just a great experience for me.
Yeah.
Much.
Yeah.
So I enjoy that as well.
Yeah, and then that's why I think that we wanted to start it, because we have two diverse perspectives, and between the two of us, we share a lot of things too. So it's we're always growing and changing and like pushing outside our boundaries a little bit, and sharing that we thought would be a little bit interesting. So overall, it's been a good experience. I'm hopeful that we continue to grow and that we can cultivate a wider audience too to kind of join us. Mm-hmm. So yeah.
Favorite subject or grade to teach?
Well, you've only really taught college level.
Yes, but a caveat to that is I do teach a lot of high school students taking college classes.
I have worked in every grade level possible except for preschool and college. No, I have taught college. So yeah, I've worked in elementary and middle school. I would probably never choose to work in middle school ever again if I had the choice. I think as of right now, my high school students, my high school experience teaching has been my favorite. So I think I would always choose high school students. And I teach English and theater, mostly theater, but I love theater and I love teaching theater, but there's also something very, very nice and calming, and yeah, I just love teaching English too. I think it's fun to read with students, it's fun to write with students, and I enjoy that process of helping them understand literature. So,
and I teach a lot of public speaking classes, a lot of communication classes, theater history, and film studies. And acting. Now I'm going to teach acting next semester. Mm-hmm. So I like that there's a variety of stuff because I get bored very easily. So I like that it kind of changes up each semester. So yeah, and I love the college students, and I don't know, it's the best job in the world.
What was the final push that helped you start the channel? I feel like, okay, so, and I think a lot of people can agree with this, or would understand this, that the pandemic really kind of amped up my reading, not his as much, but, well, we both read a lot, but I started reading a lot during the pandemic, and because we were reading a lot and we were watching a lot of YouTube, we were also watching a lot of booktube channels, and we discovered a lot of booktubers that we really, really enjoy. And then the more that we watched, the more it was like, well, I think we could do this too. And we bring very different perspectives. You know, we're a couple, we're married, we're gay. Like, we both have very different tastes in books. And so I thought, you know, if we're ever going to do something, this is probably the thing to do things. So this kind of felt like something that we would be accountable for, but also would love to do. So, yeah, I think that was I think the pandemic and the amount of reading that we were doing kind of helped us, like.
And I was just finishing up my PhD program, so I had not read a lot of fiction during that time, and you know, it was kind of coming back to this one thing that I loved when I was a kid and growing up, and then I didn't have to read a lot of heady theoretical stuff anymore, so that was good to kind of jump back in. How did you two meet?
Well, the old-fashioned story is true. We met through a matchmaker after writing years of letters.
I was working at a flower shop. He was working at an imposing flower shop.
And his flower shop was, taking over, and yeah.
I'm glad that that's the person that I would be.
You're
in
the
this
aggressor
scenario.
in that situation. So,
You're right.
No, we met online. Not in the way that you would think we met online, but we met on a very reputable dating app. And yeah, we met really like January 1st of 2016. Like, we did our meeting, like the way we met wasn't very memorable necessarily.
I think so.
But our first date was the most memorable.
Yeah.
Do you know why? Remember why?
Of course I do.
Why?
Why don't you go? You say your version of it, and okay. I'll sprinkle a lot of truth in whatever you say.
Well, we had our first date was in the town that we live in right now, and he had come in, and we went to a burger place downtown, and we ordered our food. We sat down, we were eating. It was very nice, very lovely. And then he looks over at me and he says, "Your nose is bleeding." And I was like, "What?" And my nose had just started randomly bleeding while we were eating. So I went to the bathroom and to stop it. And when I got into the men's bathroom at this place, there was no mirror above the sink. So there was no way for me to look at my face at all. And so I was trying to get it to stop, trying, and it wouldn't stop. There was literally blood everywhere. It was all over the sink, all over the floor, all over my face.
It's a crime scene.
Yeah, it literally looked like a crime scene. And I think I was in there for 20 to 25 minutes.
I really had two options. I'm sitting there finishing my food, and I'm like, he either died in the restroom or he was so bored, or he did not like me so much that he jumped out of the window of the bathroom. So I was like, do I stay here? Do I leave? Do I go check on him? I don't know.
He didn't check on me necessarily, but I did finish. I did finally get it stopped. But I feel bad for whoever went in that bathroom after me, because they definitely probably thought somebody was murdered in there. Yeah. That will be the funniest thing about our meeting story ever. Like that was the first time we met each other, and then yeah.
Because I think, like, I also think during that time, like, you know, when you're on a first date with someone, you kind of hold up, kind of wear a mask of, you know, this is the perfect me. Yeah. And I think for us, that first date, like, the masks completely fell off.
After that, yeah, there was no.
You can't really go back. Yeah. So I think that's what kind of solidified it for me, anyway.
I also told him later on that, like, after about our third or fourth date, I started to get, because he would come to see me and then have to drive about an hour to go home, and I would start to get, when he'd left, I would start to get very nervous that something would happen to him on the drive. And so I would be very like, you have to text me when you get there, you have to text me when you get home, or call me so I know. And when I started to feel so nervous and scared that I would lose him, that's when I knew that this was something special. Last question. Favorite place to travel, together or separately? Admittedly, we haven't done a whole lot of traveling together. We haven't just had the opportunity or the time or the money to be able to like go many places. We've gone to a few places together.
We went to Austin.
That was our honeymoon after about 4 months of being married.
Okay.
We went to Colorado.
Gorgeous.
Tennessee. Gorgeous. But we definitely have places we want to go, for sure, that we've talked about.
Where do you want to go?
I want to go to New England. I want to go to the Pacific Northwest. I want to visit London. I want to go, I have all these places I want to go with you. So it's really just it's just a matter of time and money, in all honesty, because the only time that we ever have off really is summer. And even then, like, he teaches in the summer sometimes. So it just becomes like trying to find time to actually do it, which becomes really difficult. So what about you?
I think anywhere in Canada I would love to go.
We love Canada.
Norway is probably has always been on my bucket list.
Sweden,
yeah. All right.
Okay, last one. Favorite musical or play, and your favorite theater experience or role. I mean, we're filming this the day after it was announced that Stephen Sondheim died, so
yeah,
that's influencing a lot. But like, my favorite musical is either Into the Woods or Company, probably.
I think
or Evita.
I think play-wise, I think is The Inheritance by Matthew Lopez. That was a great reading experience, and I think for talking about Sondheim, I think A Little Night Music has always been very connected to that show. Favorite theater experience for you?
I directed a play last year with some of my students called, not last year, 2 years ago, called John Proctor as the Villain, and it was a very fun experience to work with them and like help them understand something that's a little bit deeper and a little bit it's asking the audience to think about stuff. I really enjoyed that experience a lot. But yeah, I mean, I think my most favorite experiences are usually directing experiences, because it's about the community that is created. I haven't done any acting in a long time, so it's been a while for me to say anything about that. But well, that's it. That's all of our questions. We hope that you enjoyed this and you kind of got to know us a little bit better. We're really excited that we made it to this milestone, that you joined us and that you became a part of our little family. So thank you for submitting questions. And we hope that you got something out of the video about us a little bit. Yeah. We have a bunch of stuff coming up in December that we're excited to film. You'll see, a couple individual videos, and then we'll just do some fun stuff. So we hope you'll come back and you'll join us in December for the rest of our videos. If you haven't already, like the video, subscribe, give it a thumbs up, and comment below if you have other questions that you want to know. Maybe we'll do another Q&A sometime later down the road. So if you have other questions for us, or maybe something that surprised you to learn about both of us, we're just really excited that you're here, and we're excited to keep creating content for you. So thank you for coming back. I'm Craig.
And I'm David.
We are Self-Possessed, and we will see you next time.